What's up, JayhawkJukebox? It's me, the ghost of Jack. Oh, wrong arm. This is the ghost of Jack on this side. And today, I'm joined with my friend.
Otis.
Bang! And today, we're going to start it off how we usually start it off, with Song of the Week. Otis was so kind as to let me go first, so I'm going to get into my song. It was Never Had a Dream Come True by Stevie Wonder, the intro song off of his album Signed, Sealed, Delivered. Came out in 1970. Stevie was 20 when he came out with that album, which is like nuts to me.
Yeah.
I'm older than he was when he did that.
He's got a lot of good ones on there too.
Yeah, exactly my point.
It's impressive.
But this song alone, I think that this song, it stood out to me when I listened to it for the first time because of the hook. I mean, the song starts in the hook, and it's this big build-up. It's kind of like a doo-wop sort of Motown blend, which obviously you leave that to Stevie, and he's going to do it great. And so I love the song. It's a fun way to start off the album. I'm curious to hear what you thought about it when you listened.
I didn't realize I knew the song until I'd listened to it, and I realized the Jackson 5 did a cover, and that's why I know the song. Kind of sad, I know, but it is what it is. But I love that song. I played it, you sent it to me, and I was listening to it, and it immediately got stuck in my head, and we were talking about how that it's a great hook, great chorus. I think it works nicely. It's smooth. It's classic Stevie. He handles it really nicely. I love it.
Yeah.
It's a great song.
I like, too, how, it sounds different than, I mean, obviously, Signed, Sealed, Delivered is the song of that album. It's the title song.
It's the title track, yep.
And it's huge. It's like this big, loving, exciting song. But this song, Never Had a Dream Come True, is very, yearning. And while it's still upbeat and fun in the instrumental, you listen to the lyrics and you're like, this guy's got a heart. And so it has that fun little dynamic to play with.
I think it's rare when someone can have that one of those upbeat songs.
Definitely.
And it feels like you're kind of moving along the song nicely, but it still has that yearning, those yearning lyrics, and it comes together really nicely, especially in that song.
Yeah, it's a skill that not everybody has.
Absolutely.
But speaking of skills that nobody has, let's get into your song.
My song is Whatever Happens, Michael Jackson, Invincible 2001, one of my favorite albums of all time. It's a great one. And it came to mind, it had to be a Michael Jackson song for me today because the official trailer teaser came out for the biopic. Very excited about that, very excited about that. But this song is with Carlos Santana. It starts almost like a Western theme. It has this whistling. It's like wind is blowing almost. It has this feeling. You're trapped in the song immediately is how I feel every time I listen to it. And it comes in with the guitar, the Spanish guitar. It moves wonderfully. I think it's talking about these two people in this dire situation, and they don't want to let it go. Whatever happens, And I think it's a beautiful song. Michael with the vocals, obviously, Michael's going to do what he does.
Yeah.
And they're clean, they're nice, but also gritty sometimes, and I think it works perfectly. What'd you think of it?
Yeah, I mean, going off of the vocals, Michael could sing the phone book and I would listen.
Exactly. Yeah,
but also, what's interesting about this album too is it was when he was really getting into his R&B bag. Yeah. Obviously, it's the '90s, 2000s, golden era of R&B. And I think just what's insane about Michael and his mind is that he could blend so many different sounds. Like you mentioned, the Spanish guitar, there's electric guitar, there's orchestral strings, and all of it works. None of it sounds out of place. Yeah. And so then when you throw his vocals on top of it, I was listening to it before I came here. I was like, oh man.
Yeah, it has a nice feeling to it, but that's really it. That's it for us.
Yeah, we'll see you guys later. Deuces.
Hi everyone, I'm Elise.
And I'm AJ Watson.
Today we're going to be talking about artists who went MIA.
Yes, okay, I'll let you go first.
All right, I'm going to start off with Vanilla Ice, who's best known for Ice Ice Baby and hasn't released a song since I was born, 2005.
That's insane. That's absolutely insane. I was just going to say with that, he was in a movie with Adam Sandler in 2012, but other than this movie and Ice Ice Baby, I feel like there's nothing, so yeah. For me, my first artist is Frank Ocean.
Okay.
Which, his last studio album was Blonde, and that was 2016. And he technically only has 2 studio albums, which is Blonde and then Chanel Orange, which is great, lost. The last thing he released was 2 singles in 2020. He did perform at Coachella in 2023, but that performance was awful. He had to cancel the second one because of an industry. It was an hour late, it ended early, people flamed it on Reddit. It was a whole thing. And, he doesn't do TV appearances, he doesn't do interviews, he's just gone. But I did find out what he's doing right now. Apparently, he's directing an independent film in Mexico City. It's his directorial debut, so there's that.
Interesting.
And he's focusing on his fashion brand Homer. So
that's awesome. The next 2 I have are pretty niche. I listened to Cody Simpson a lot as a kid. He hasn't released anything since 2022, and now is a competitive Australian swimmer.
That's
Interesting.
Cool. Yeah.
A big switch up.
Yeah. Very, like, I love, like, artists who suddenly, like, go off and do something else, and then it's, like, the most random thing. Like, oh, this person became a pilot, this person joined the army, this person's a swimmer. Nice. Live your best life. My second artist is Zed. Technically speaking, he's still active. He released his third album in 2024, but you gotta remember, Zed was big in, like, the early 2010s. For, like, his second album came out in 2015, and so there's 9 years between those two albums.
Yeah, that's a big gap.
That is a big gap. Most of the time he was doing collabs, he was technically touring, and like he had collabs like Stay and In the Middle and Clarity and all those other things with like
I love those songs.
other big names. Right. I'm singing them whenever they come on like Spotify. I'm like, yes, let's go. But other than that, like MIA, he had a whole album in 2020, but then he scrapped it all, like everything.
Yeah.
And never released. And then, yeah, apparently according to him, he just didn't feel rushed after releasing True Colors, which is his second album from 2015. So, yeah.
Yeah. The last one I have is Drip Report, who released Skechers in 2020. And if you were on TikTok in 2020, you definitely know what this is. If you haven't, you probably live under a rock.
I don't have TikTok.
Oh, no! All right.
So
well, that's all we have for today for this segment.
Hey! Welcome back. I know you guys missed me, so I decided I was going to slide in here again and talk about an album that came out a few weeks ago that I've really, really grown to love. That album is Son of Spurgey by Daniel Caesar. He's done it again. It's his fourth studio album, and it's remarkable how he just keeps doing this. He keeps coming up with new projects that all have the same kind of Daniel Caesar recognizable feel to them, but they're all unique in their own way. They're unique in their message and their instrumental feel. So I'm going to get into it because there's a lot to unload with this, and honestly, I'm not going to fully get into it. So listen to it on your own time, do your own research, because this is a beautiful album for a guy who's had an interesting career path. So starting off, in case you were wondering, Daniel Caesar, in my opinion, is one of the faces of R&B in the 2010s, 2020s era. I was talking about R&B in Song of the Week. I'm talking about it now. Obviously, it's a big thing in my life, and he is one of those voices that's just always been so prominent, so apparent in the R&B scheme or atmosphere. I don't know why I'm buffering on my words here. Daniel Caesar's getting me too excited. So all that to say, this album still is R&B, but he adopts a slightly kind of different sound with this one. Like I was mentioning, this one's a lot softer, a lot more outdoorsy, which pairs with his album Rollout, which I'll get into after I do a little more preview of this album. So even though that this feels slightly different from his past hit albums, which are all great. If you haven't listened to those, give them a shot too. There still are these like melodic and rhythmic and lyrical kind of motifs that you can pick up and recognize. There's one line that's in Son of Spurgey that I can't say live on air, but it is a line from Always on his last album, Never Enough. And so I thought that was kind of a cool thing to look at that song, which was about a relationship, and putting it into the song that it was on this album and seeing how that relationship came to be. That's just a skill that Daniel Caesar has, is having those motifs kind of transcend albums, and I think that's really cool. So yeah, as I mentioned when I was getting into the intro, this album's been out since October, but because of how introspective it is, it really had to sink in for me. I had to listen to it for, a few times for me to really like get the message of this album, and now that I get it, I think that this is a top 3 album for me in 2025. Do I think it'll get Grammy nods? Maybe for R&B, but it's not going to be the big face of the Grammys this year. However, I think that it is an album that is worthy of your ear because it's emotional, it's raw, it's introspective, and it's just a beautifully calm album with a clear message on a lot of fronts. It talks about his relationship with getting older, his relationship with learning that he's kind of becoming his father, who's this big revered figure in the small Canadian community that he is from originally. And it's also talking about his relationship with religion and this journey that he's been on now as a 30-year-old. Because if you don't know, I'll do this briefly because it could get a little sticky. Daniel Caesar has a interesting past of saying things that maybe he shouldn't say online. And so now that he is 30, he's reflecting on growing, and while he's hinted at this in songs from past albums, this album really just shows you that growth that he's experienced, and I think it's really tangible in the feels, in the lyrics. I think that it's clear more than ever. And also, speaking of this picture while it's up, it's already at Love Garden on Mass, but it was $40, so I wasn't going to buy that. But if you wanted to check it out on vinyl, you could check it out on vinyl. So now that I've talked about that enough, let's get into my favorite songs of the album. I was going to give you like a top 3, but the 3 turned into 4, 4 turned into 5, 5 turned into 6. So I decided that I wanted to play a little game with you guys. Is that okay? Okay, cool. My game for today is that I'm going to give you a few songs that coincide with another Daniel Caesar album. So if you are a listener of Daniel Caesar and you think, oh, I might like something that sounds like this album, you get the point. So if you liked Case Study by Daniel Caesar, I think 2 songs that stick out are Moon featuring Bon Iver and Sign of the Times. Both really beautiful songs that have the kind of airy feeling that Case Study has. And then if you like Never Enough, his most recent project other than this one, I would say listen to Root of All Evil, which is one of my favorites on this album, clearly. I really like the drums on it. And Who Knows, which probably I think is the best song on this album. It's so emotional. It hits so hard. It's so clear in what he's trying to say, mixed with a really clear instrumental. And overall, it's great. And then this new kind of sound that he's adopting with this album, 2 songs that really illustrate that are Baby Blue, which features his dad actually, and Call on Me, which is one of the singles that he released before the album. It was a song that really grew on me, and the juxtaposition of that kind of song in the context of the album becomes really clear when you give it a listen. So I know I've been talking to you for a while, so I'm going to wrap it up here and let you form your own opinion. But that's what I thought a little bit into Daniel Caesar's new album, Son of Spurgey.
Recently, Taylor Swift released her latest album, The Life of a Showgirl, and the reception has been mixed, to say the least. Some people love it, others not so much. So yeah, we're going to go through the album today, review it, and see whether it's good, bad, or something else. But before we jump into the actual track list on the album, I want to touch on the album cover first, because I thought that was really interesting. The album is way more stylized than her past albums, which have a more simple design, and I think it works out really good. Took me a second to like kind of fall in love with it, but now I'm like, okay, it's actually really cool. I really like how unique and stylized it is. She released a lot of different variants of the cover, and I think a lot of them look good, especially the one in dark green with like the feathers and stuff. That's my personal favorite. Love it. Jumping into the actual album, it's only 12 songs, so we're going to be able to go through all of them individually. A lot less than her other past albums, but you know, they always say quality's over quantity and all that. Her first song is The Fate of Ophelia, and I gotta say, it's a really good hook. I really like the sound of the song. It's very Taylor Swift, and it's definitely like a good way to introduce you into the album. It's a good start to the album. I gotta give it a 4 out of 5. By the way, we're going to be ranking each song out of 5, and by the end of this, we're going to see what the cumulative score is, and that's going to determine what the album is overall. The second song, Elizabeth Taylor, unfortunately does not continue that streak whatsoever. This is kind of a dud for me. When I was listening through the album, I was kind of writing down like really short, brief descriptions to sum up each of the songs. And for this one, I wrote sort of like CW drama music, which I mean like it kind of just is. Like this one's just very, it's just kind of a dud. It's very man, boy. It's fine. I'm gonna have to give it a 2 out of 5, sadly. After that, recently, Taylor Swift released her latest album, The Life of a Showgirl. And the reception has been mixed, to say the least. Some people love it, others not so much. So yeah, we're gonna go through the album today, review it, and see whether it's good, bad, or something else. But before we jump into the actual track list on the album, I want to touch on the album cover first, because I thought that was really interesting. The album is way more stylized than her past albums, which have a more simple design, and I think it works out really good. Took me a second to like kind of fall in love with it, but now I'm like, okay, it's actually really cool. I really like how unique and stylized it is. She released a lot of different variants of the cover, and I think a lot of them look good, especially the one in dark green with like the feathers and stuff. That's my personal favorite. Love it. Jumping into the actual album, it's only 12 songs, so we're going to be able to go through all of them individually. A lot less than our other past albums, but you know, they always say quality's over quantity and all that. Her first song is The Fate of Ophelia, and I gotta say, it's a really good hook. I really like the sound of the song. It's very Taylor Swift, and it's definitely like a good way to introduce you into the album. It's a good start to the album. I gotta give it a 4 out of 5. By the way, we're going to be ranking each song out of 5, and by the end of this, we're going to see what the cumulative score is, and that's going to determine what the album is overall. The second song, Elizabeth Taylor, unfortunately does not continue that streak whatsoever. This is kind of a dud for me. When I was listening through the album, I was kind of writing down like really short, brief descriptions to sum up each of the songs. And for this one, I wrote sort of like CW drama music, which I mean, like, it kind of just is. Like, this one's just very... It's just kind of a dud. It's very meh, blah. It's fine. I'm gonna have to give it a 2 out of 5, sadly. After that, though, stocks are up, baby, because we got the best song of the album here. Woo, woo, woo. We got Opalite, which is really good, I gotta say. Definitely my favorite song of the album. Really good chorus, really good harmonies. This song I just found myself listening to over and over and over again. And as I was listening through this album for the first time, I was like, okay, maybe the criticism was a little bit too harsh because this song is the shit. I gotta give it a solid 5 out of 5. After this, we have Father Figure, which of course, it's not gonna reach the peaks of Opalite, but it is still pretty alright. Not extraordinary, not horrible, just pretty good, standard run-of-the-mill, good at a solid 3 out of 5. And then after Father Figure, unfortunately, we have Eldest Daughter. It's really bad. It's not good. I'm a person who likes instrumentals more than like lyrics, but sometimes you can't even ignore it. Like for Eldest Daughter, the song opens up with the lines, "Everyone's so punk on the internet, every joke's just trolling and memes." Like, girl, what? Super slow, super boring, bad lyrics, 1 out of 5, easily the worst song of the album, I think. I'm gonna combine the next 2 songs together. It's Ruin the Friendship and Actually Romantic. I thought they were pretty good. A lot better than Eldest Daughter, that's for sure. It's very similar to Father Figure for me, where it's just like bass line, that's really good Taylor Swift sound. I think if I had to rank them, Ruin the Friendship, I think I'd give like a 3 out of 5, it's good. And then Actually Romantic, I'd give that a 4 out of 5. I like that one a little bit more. Now, after those 2 good songs, unfortunately, we reach what I like to call the desert part of the album, where for a stretch of time, these next few songs feel like a trudge you gotta go through. They are not very good, and you're just kind of waiting for the oasis at the end. And for now, it's a little bit of a slog to get through. Starting with Wishlist. Note the quirky title. Ooh, I got $signs, wow! Wishlist I was not really a fan of. I just don't like the music, the instrumentals, and the background and stuff. This one just felt like really off to me. I can totally understand if people like it. It just really was not for me. So I gotta give it a 2 out of 5, unfortunately. After that is Wood, which, ooh, interesting song, that's for sure. In case you've been living under a rock, Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce have kind of been dating, and now they are kind of been engaged. Ooh, oh my god, yay, my teachers are dating! And so this song, Wood, is kind of dedicated to Travis Kelce. It's about him, and oh, what an interesting song! It's so cool, oh my gosh. I think the instrumental in the song is like pretty okay, but Jesus Christ, the lyrics, they just absolutely ruin the song for me. The song's about his redwood tree, which was the key to open her thighs, and it's just like, I mean, it's like fine, but it's just like, I'm not gonna listen to this anymore. I doubt any, like, I don't know, kid is gonna listen to this at their birthday party or something like that. Maybe it's because it's not on brand for like Taylor Swift style, or maybe it's just because the lyrics are just, they're interesting to say the least. I'm not a big fan of Wood. I'm guessing Travis Kelce really likes the song, but for me, I don't really want to listen to a song about his tree trunk anymore. So unfortunately, I'm going to give this song a 1 out of 5. Finally, the last song in our Desert collection is Canceled. It's okay, it's like fine, but that doesn't do anything special for me. 2 out of 5. After that, we finally get a break with Honey, which I gotta say, I really liked Honey. It was a really good song. I love the sound of it. It's very sweet, no pun intended. I'm gonna give it a 4 out of 5. Very warm, very cozy, going back to the old vibes of Taylor Swift that we had earlier in the album. I like it, it's a good one. And finally, that brings us to the last song of the album, the titular song, Life of a Showgirl. And it's pretty good. I liked it. Rhythmically, it's interesting. It features Sabrina Carpenter, which is cool, and she has some really cool harmonies with Taylor Swift, her idol. And I thought it was a really interesting song to end it off with, especially with the song ending with them waving to the crowd and like this like fade away thing where it's like, oh, we'll see you next time. Thanks for coming out. Bye-bye. I thought that was really cool. I liked it. Solid way to end off the album. Pretty cool cameo by Sabrina Carpenter. Gonna give it a nice solid 4 out of 5. And yeah, that is Life of a Showgirl. Overall, all the songs accumulated together, their scores, it nets a total of 2.91, which unfortunately is going to be 2 out of 5 because it is just below a 3 out of 5 there, which I think is the best way to describe this album. It is very mid, very just below mid, I think. Given all the success that Taylor Swift had over the past few years with her tours, the movies, I mean, she was literally boosting nations' economies. Like, that is crazy. This album just doesn't really live up to the success that she had built recently, to the hype. And for that, it just kind of falls flat a little bit. If you love the album, that's great, that's awesome, hooray for you. I think there's a lot of good stuff in the album to enjoy. But if you dislike the album, I can totally see where you're getting at because there are a lot of stinkers in the mix of this thing. But yeah, that's going to do it for me and my review of Life of a Showgirl. I've been Hayden Houts, and we're going to send you on over to our next segment. I'll see you later. Bye-bye. Thanks for coming. Bye.
How's it going, everybody? It's Otis, and I'm back with another review, back-to-back album reviews. Here we are. Today we're talking about Deadbeat by Tame Impala. I got this came out a few weeks ago, so I've had time to sit with this. Definitely an interesting listen. I could definitely see some people, really enjoying this one. For me, it's good. It doesn't do it for me entirely. I don't know. You listened to some of it at least. How do you feel about it?
When I first listened to it, like first few songs, I was like, oh, this is fire. Like, it reminded me of their 2018 album. And then I listened to a few more and I was like, it's all right. Like, they could have done more. I think the songs are like dragged out a little too much.
I would have to agree. I think a lot of them do drag on an unnecessary amount. I think when you decide to take out the vocals, the instruments really have to, do their part in carrying through a song, especially if we're hitting 5, 6, 7 minute markers for the songs, and it's just the same beat repeating over and over again. For me, I just wasn't really doing it for me personally. But I think the first 3 songs, the way it starts, I think it's really nice. It's My Old Ways, No Reply, and Dracula. I think those are all great songs. Dracula, for me, I think that's the best song on the album. Maybe it's because I have the most time to sit with it since it came out a little bit before the rest of the album. It was a single to lead it. And I think it's just a classic. I think it could fit anywhere in Tame Impala's discography really nicely, and I think it does a pretty good job at it. How do you feel about Dracula, the first 3 songs, the intro, kind of getting into it?
Yeah, the intro was definitely, I think, the best part of the album. I'd have to say that my favorite on the album is just above Dracula, is Afterthought. It's like the second to last song on the album, but I don't know, like, I think because so many of the songs are so like dragged out, that one kind of keeps my attention span, keeps me in it. It switches up the beat, switches up the tone. I don't know, I really like it, but Dracula is definitely right there. I think it's one of those that like could fit easily into that 2018 album. They did a good job with that one.
Yeah, I agree. Afterthought for me was one, it was like a refresher. I felt the same about Obsolete. I think those were like refreshers and what felt like we were saying a lot, very dragged out periods in the album, and it's not always doing it for me. I think one I would like to specifically bash on is End of Summer. While it does have like decent melodies and nice vocals here and there, it is a 7-minute song with the same 5 out of 10 beat instrumental that's just taking you through a snooze fest to close it out, and I just can't get behind something like that.
No, truly. I think if your song is going to be 7 minutes long, like it has to have multiple features like beat drops, some insane stuff in there to keep an attention span for 7 minutes, and I do not think that they make that mark at all.
I'd have to agree. Doing a little bit of research on it, you can tell by like the dance, there's definitely a dance element to it. There's the alternative, naturally, dance, alternative, but he said a lot of the inspiration he got was from Western Australian raves. And that's where he was at, because I guess he's Australian, and he's out there, and he's just really getting into it, I guess. And and that's where he's pulling a lot. And then it's shifting into that dance club, that realm of music. And I think it's interesting. I think the idea is definitely there, but the way it's executed, I think, is a little lackluster for me, personally.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that those influences?
Western Australian rave music. Who would have thunk it? Who would have thunk
I didn't think that's where he was at. Just
No.
looking at him, but that's where he's living.
No.
But I do think there is some interesting themes. He is a relatively new father, and he's talking about self-sabotage and, as the album suggests, kind of being a deadbeat, unfortunately, not being the place where he should be as a father. And while I would love to be and that those are serious things people deal with, and I understand, but while I would love to be more interested in it, we're playing two sides of the ball here, with it being super upbeat and taking you this whole way through this album, and then also being able to talk about important things in your life. I think it's a delicate balance and not always easy.
Yeah, I think that the themes that he's doing and the themes that he's trying to come across, I don't know if this way is the easiest way to convey it. And you definitely can, but I don't know. I think he's done better.
I'd have to agree. I'm going to put it at a nice 7.5. Good. I know I did a lot of bashing. I think it's good. I could understand people putting it a lot higher, but for me, 7.5.
Yeah, I think it's melodic. I think they're good songs. It's not they're not super. All of them are skips or anything, but I think I agree. 7.5 is a good rating. He's done better, could do better, but overall,
decent.
Decent
All right,
album.
we're settling that at 7.5, and that's all we got for you guys.
Hello everyone, and welcome to Jukebox News Flash, where we will be recounting the top music stories from the past week. I'm Hayden.
And I'm AJ. 50 years ago today, the Sex Pistols made their debut in London, playing as a supporting act. This first performance marks the beginning of the UK punk movement, a shift in music that has influenced today's most popular artists.
5 years prior, on November 6, 1975, Aerosmith played their first show as a band in Mendon, Massachusetts. The set took place at their high school, and the band debuted as the Bad Boys from Boston.
In recent news, employees at the Houston House of Blues, part of the Live Nation Entertainment Group, voted to unionize this week. This marks the first time a House of Blues venue has organized in this way. The move to unionize marks a growing concern for labor practices in the live music industry.
Billboard released its 2025 global roundup of top schools offering music business programs, ranging from major industry hubs to affordable public institutions. NYU, Belmont University, and Michigan State were included on the list.
And finally, here are some new releases dropping tomorrow, November 7th. Lux by Rosalia, Stardust by Danny Brown, Small Talk by Whitney, and Sad and Beautiful World by Mavis Staples.
That's all for Jayhawk Jukebox this week. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you next Thursday. Keep up with us on Instagram and TikTok, also at JayhawkJukebox.
Have a great weekend, Jayhawks.